Good morning, family. Once again, it's your DC dude. If you are already a subscriber to this channel, then welcome back. If you are new to this channel, I recommend that you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can stay in the know about where we're going to go. So today, family, we find ourselves at Fort Dupont Park at 376 acres. I'm proud to say, being east of the river native, that it's the second largest park in all of DC. Now, the first everybody knows is Rock Creek Park. That's over 4 times larger at 1,754 acres. But that's okay, because Fort Dupont Park becomes larger because it's connected with 10 miles of bike trail that connect Fort Chaplin, Fort Davis, and Fort Stanton. Long before Fort Dupont Park was a national park, it actually served as a Civil War fort. It was constructed between October and December of 1861 and completed in 1862. So the actual fort itself wasn't very large in relation to the entire Fort Dupont Park that we know today, right? It was an area of land that had 6 sides. Each side was 100 feet, and within it was only a flagpole, a very deep well, an officer's quarters, and a barracks, right? It was protected by a deep moat that surrounded it, a deep moat and fallen trees that were strategically placed for protection. The fort was an artillery station defending eastern approaches to Washington, D.C., protecting Washington, D.C. from the Confederate soldiers, right? It was armed with 3 howitzers, 3 Seacoast guns, 2 field guns, and 1 mortar. Although none were ever used in hostile action, though. After the surrender of Confederate soldiers on April 9, 1865, a circle of cannons were set up and fired for hours in celebration. Fort Dupont Park is actually named after a flag officer named Samuel F. Dupont, who commanded a naval victory at Port Royal, South Carolina in 1861. The fort remained in use until it was abandoned in 1865. This land was owned by a Michael Caton before the war and was returned to him after. Fort Dupont Park also served as a lifeline to freedom back in those days. I mean, runaway slaves found refuge here before moving on to the growing number of freed African Americans in Washington, D.C. Family, I also have fond memories of this park. You know, I grew up about 3 blocks down Alabama Avenue till you get to Ridge Road. As soon as you cross Ridge Road, I lived over there on 44th Place. We used to walk down and take a dip in the Ridge Road swimming pool, which is right across the street from Fort Dupont Park. Man, that would look so good right now. As hot as it is out here, I just want to climb the fence and go dive in there, you family. We used to have our family reunion here every so often, right? I'm down here on the Circle Way, Minnesota Avenue, and I think that's Fort Dupont Drive. I don't know exactly what street that is, family, but that's the street that comes down through the park right past the arena by the Summit Theater, right? We used to play football on a regular basis at this field. This is like right by Mass Avenue, and I believe it's Fort Davis Drive, and Massachusetts Avenue is right there on the corner at the stop sign. And also, family, we play football on this field over here, right? That was the bigger games, the rivalry games. We're right here on Massachusetts Avenue and Alabama. And sometimes we played on this field. So this field is on Fort Davis, right? If I spin all the way around, then you'll hit Pennsylvania Avenue. That's where we are here. I remember one day we were playing on this field, and my best friend to this very day broke his ankle. I think it was his ankle on this. We had to get him to a friend's house that lived in Fort Davis. Remember that, MC? If you see in this video, remember that? And this field right behind me pretty much was the largest one, right? I'm right here on Alabama Avenue, right before you get to Pennsylvania Avenue down the street. This one, I never played at this one. My cousin used to play here because, like I said, he lived across the street, and this is where they used to do their thing. They had huge games here. Also have fond memories, family, shooting fireworks here every 4th of July from the time I was a kid to the time through adulthood, because my first cousins lived right across the street I'm on Alabama Avenue right over here. And, in the basketball court, we could use that, for the kids with the snakes. You remember snakes, how you like the snakes and they start coming out, look like they're coming out the ground? Awesome time. I used to grow large stalks of corn in here, family. See all my corn? Okay, so I never did that. We used to come down and play basketball, shoot hoops here. I don't know if it was in the same exact place. It seemed like it might have been repositioned. But the playground looked like it has a lot more going on than it used to. I have memories of my mom bringing me down here when I was like 3 or 4 years old and me falling and scraping my knee. I don't know. It's funny the things that we remember. When I was in elementary school at St. Francis, we had a field trip here at Fort Dupont Park, and we kicked it right there. And we set up a little picnic thing there, and then we took a walk around here. And when you bend that corner, it leads to one of the hiker biker trails. So the Park Service started seeking funding for these bike trails back in 1967, right? The very first one opened on September 10th, 1968, and this is the one that started here on Ridge Road, you see right behind me, and it ended at Pennsylvania Avenue. And we used to come down here and run through this trail. We call ourselves training, you know what I mean? Back in the day when we were teenagers. Even before that, we used to bike through these trails a lot. We would start here, jog through here, right? And end up on the other side at Massachusetts Avenue. In those days though, I don't believe that there were sidewalks on this side of the street, much less this bridge right here. But, so how long has this bridge been here? And why is it such in disrepair? So now, family, I'm standing at the community garden in Fort Dupont Park, right? But once upon a time, back in 1948, they created a 9-hole golf course, right? In 1957, it was expanded to 18 holes. So the golf course was eventually closed after several incidents. The incident in July of 1969 that broke the camel's back was 2 off-duty officers were robbed at gunpoint. So it was like a catch-22 because the less people who actually came out to play golf, the more suspect it was that something could potentially happen to you, right? In terms of, because like I said, incidents was going down like in the 60s. So anyway, in the 1970s, the golf course gave way to this community garden. It gave way to the sports complex over on Eli Place. Also gave way to my favorite spot in the Fort Dupont Park family, and that's the Fort Dupont Park Summer Theater. For free, growing up, we seen groups like Mother's Finest, Roy Ayers, Stacy Lattisaw, Johnny Gill, Melba Moore. Did I mention Melba Moore already? Well, she was one. Roy Ayers seemed like they were always here. And family, we always didn't even have to come down here. We could hear it from our front porch. Sometimes people from the neighborhood would gather on our front porch and just listen to the sounds messing around on the front porch, just kicking it. So are there any concerts this year, family? Yes, but they're virtual, right? So they're running from July 31st through September 4th. They're hosted by HUR's very own Angela Stribling, at least the one that I watched. I checked out one last weekend, right? And they have all kind of bands from jazz to go-go to Latino music, R&B, soul, all kinds. In fact, some of the groups they had already or going to have is Rough Ends, Sugar Hill Gang, Raw Bass, local go-go bands. They went way back in the day, didn't they? Sugar Hill? Really? Wow. That should be pretty interesting. In fact, that's going to be on September 4th. That's going to be the last one, I believe, right? I believe they already had Rough Ends. You may can go on this website and look at older concerts as well, right? But yeah, so it's missed. I mean, look at all this area. I mean, this area, I remember days where this area was packed full of people going all the way back to like going all the way back to where the community gardens is, way back there, right? People would be all up on the hill. Get yourself a nice little spot on the hill and chill. It's just a cool spot. It's a cool spot and it's missed. Still no access to cars though during COVID, but they didn't say anything about 2 wheels. But obviously, people can still come here. I mean, look at check that out, right? And look, this has been there. I've actually been shooting this video for a few days, right? And it's still, it was like that then. I mean, it's been like that for a minute, you know. And I've actually seen people in here, parks and stuff like that. People park along Alabama Avenue over there, right? And which is great, you know, still having picnics and cookouts and cool. I get it. I don't understand why they just won't let the cars in. I mean, because the whole point of closing it is to keep people separate. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter if you park in Alabama Avenue or in here, people still getting together. So there's some things going on with National Park Service I just don't understand right now, right? Because, I mean, who's maintaining it? I mean, there's another thing of trash over there, a huge thing of trash over there that it's been here, I don't know, I want to say weeks. I mean, because I pass here all the time on Alabama Avenue. I kind of look over here and I'm like, what's going on? What's really going on? Why aren't they changing the trash cans, right? But I think something's going on with National Park Service in general, right? Because when I do my tour at the Anacostia, do my Anacostia tour, and I go to Frederick Douglass's house, they open the grounds now, but they still don't open the inside. And the guy said because it's a staff issue. Whatever it is, that's not right, man. I mean, Yogi Bear might like it, like this, with trash and food and stuff like that, right? But it's just not cool environmentally, right? Or cosmetically. I mean, it's just not cool cosmetically to ride past a very nice park with all this trash everywhere. It's crazy. So family, I was kidding about Yogi Bear, but actually in the 1600s, I learned that when I was researching Anacostia area, when the Indians were here, there was actually bear that lived in this area east of the Anacostia River, right? I mean, with all this trash, are we trying to bring back bear? We want grizzly bear up in here? I mean, we trying to bring back the bear, family? Also, family, I mentioned that, you know, there were bears here back in the day, and even buffalo, believe it or not, right? But, and of course we know about deer. Deer was back in the, deer's been here since those days as well, right? And they also said turkeys, right? So, the other day I was coming through here on Massachusetts Avenue. I'm on Massachusetts Avenue. This is Massachusetts Avenue right here, right where it meets Fort Davis Street. And I was coming up Massachusetts Avenue, and I seen 2 turkeys that popped out the woods. Now, family, I've been here all my life, and I've never seen any turkeys around here, especially around Thanksgiving. From one of the hiker-biker trails in Fort Dupont Park, family, I'm going to say goodbye for now. And I might have mentioned this before, but you will never know where we'll end up next. So if you want to ride, just click on subscribe.